So if you think about business, business is all about service. It doesn't matter what you do. You're providing something for someone. In exchange for that, you're getting paid. And so how can you serve people? Well, when you go to these events, so many people want to keep and guard their secrets. They want to, oh, if you give me money, I'll tell you how to solve this problem, or I'll give you an idea or whatever. Just flip the script and give everything away.
Welcome to the King Dems Podcast, where we share the stories of extraordinary people and dissect hot, relevant topics that shape our world. From visionary leaders to trailblazing creatives, we uncover the mindset, strategy, and grit behind greatness. Whether it's business, culture, or personal growth, we ask the real questions. This isn't just conversation, it's transformation. The King Dems Podcast. Your next breakthrough starts here.
Music licensing reimagined.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live, and of course, you're once again welcome to the King Dems Podcast. I have got a really, really big smile on my face because I have got the friend of the house, and of course, the one woman, the one and only, who bestowed upon me the prestigious title of the modern day philosopher, business philosopher, rather. Please make welcome Morgan Q. Anderson, and she is not alone today. She is with the highly resourceful Sean Knudsen. Sean Knudsen actually went off, and of course, he'll be right back shortly. Morgan, on LinkedIn, everyone is talking about your forthcoming summit. I want to hear from the horses about. Tell us about it.
So being a business owner, you get invited to a lot of conferences, a lot of summits that tell you, we're going to share some insight that's going to level up your game. And at the end of a 1 or 2 day conference or summit, you walk out saying, okay, what did I really learn? I spent 2 business days, maybe traveled for this summit and this conference. I didn't bring away but 1 or 2 things that I can implement into my business to really help. It feels like a waste of time, a waste of resources, a waste of money. And as a business owner, time is our commodity. Right? From the moment we sit down in our
Time
chair,
is money.
Right. From the moment we sit down in our chair to the time we get up at the end of the day, and sometimes over the weekends as well, we have to maximize everything that we put into our hours, right?
Absolutely.
So I've had this idea of the top 5. Like if I could sit down and talk to industry leaders and ask them for the top couple of tips or tricks from each of them that I could implement into my professional career or that I could implement into my business to level up my game, it would be the best outcome for me. And so I decided to create the Essential Business Insight Summit so that anybody around the world can dedicate 2 hours to this presentation and walk away with top 5 tips or tricks from these different industry leaders to help them that they can immediately take action upon, right? Like we have a social media strategist who is going to talk about the 5 ways you are wasting your time on social media and how to fix them. And
That's good. Highly resourceful.
Right. She's giving her presentation only over 10 minutes. Each industry expert has 10 minutes to share these
Bullet points.
Right. And in my mind, there is no better 2 hours that a professional or a business owner could commit to really walk away with immediately actionable steps that they can implement and see a great return of investment on.
So it's really, really fantastic, having this condensed form of information, because a lot of summits you go to these days are basically information overflow, information overload. And of course, it often tends to lead to paralysis by analysis. But you have come here and you are hitting the nail on its head. It very much aligns, with my philosophy on communication. And that is communication should be ABC. And that means communication should be accurate. It should be brief and it should be concise. So we have 2 hours. That is 120 minutes in this conference. So what are the different faculties that make up the conference? That is the different areas of specialties that people would be obtaining knowledge in terms of this conference.
Great. Great question. So we have somebody who is an expense expert who is going to be sharing with you how to save the most amount of money for any
Okay,
business contracts that you have without switching vendors. We have a
interesting.
bookkeeper who has spent over 3.5 decades in the bookkeeping world who's going to talk about, as a business owner or a professional, what receipts should you be keeping? What are best practices for maintaining your financial activities? We have, like I said, the social media expert who's going to be talking about the 5 missteps that you're making on social media and how to fix them. Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about what your area of expertise is and what you'll be
Yeah,
sharing with us?
absolutely.
You're
Thank
welcome
you,
back,
Morgan.
Sean.
Thank you. Thank you, Ademola. So
You're always
I
welcome.
see most people making so many mistakes in their networking. They're trying to make it all about themselves, and it tends to push people away. Doesn't come across as very genuine. So I teach a process of networking that's kind of like dating. You want to just encourage them to get to know you, to learn to trust you, and to see the value in spending time with you or partnering with you or whatever it is you're trying to do. You can't seal the deal until they trust you and see the value that you can offer for them. So you make it all about them. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Oh wow! So making it all about them. A lot of people like to put the first foot forward, the best foot forward rather. How do they put the best foot forward in this kind of situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. That it really starts with mindset and thinking about what can I do for this person, like genuinely seeking to go help other people. So if you think about business is all about service. It doesn't matter what you do. You're providing something for someone, and in exchange for that, you're getting paid. And so how can you serve people? Well, when you go to these events, so many people want to keep and guard their secrets. They want to, oh, if you give me money, I'll tell you how to solve this problem, or I'll give you an idea or whatever. But just flip the script and give everything away. Just because in this day and age of information, we have AI, we have everything. You can find out anything you want to know about any subject in
Hmm.
seconds. So what you're really giving to people
Absolutely.
is
Hmm.
your time, you're holding them accountable, you're helping them to feel whatever they need to feel to get through whatever they're getting through, whatever you're helping them with.
Oh wow, fantastic. You very much align with the philosophy of the modern day business philosopher. And that is why episode 100 of my podcast was on customer service. I think the title is Customer Service is Broken and How to Fix It. Basically, in this age and time, people want a fantastic customer experience. And a customer experience is actually delivered based on the quality of the service that you're providing to these customers. So in economics, money is described as a store of value. So people would exchange value if they have the perceived opinion that they would be receiving some sort of perceived value from the service provider. And in this age and time, service providers are very, very easy to switch. The cost of switching has been made very, very minimalist in modern days. So, how do you advise business owners in the current economic and business climate to remain competitive and stay ahead of the curve in this highly competitive landscape?
Absolutely. That is a great question. To me, it's all about value and connection. Those same two things I talk about. It's really giving, so much more than you promise. It's it just make it so that that's a no-brainer to work with you. You are offering so much, you're giving so much, you genuinely want to help them. You want to see them succeed. I want my clients to do better than I do. I want to see them make more money than I do. I want the best for them genuinely. And then I provide as much value as I can. So I work with several coaches that coach me that are, pretty, like one of them's like $2,000 an hour. And everything I learn, I share with my clients, my business consulting clients. As soon as I learn it, I don't hold anything back. I want them to have everything that I have. And they know that. And because that, they like working with me. They get excited when I go to a conference or I watch a summit like this, because from this summit, I'm going to come away with some new information that I'm going to immediately share with them as quickly as I can. I'm going to put it out in an email. I'm going to talk about it in our group coaching. I'm going to talk about it in our private coaching. But just providing overwhelming value and genuine sincerity about their business and their lives.
I really appreciate that approach. It's a really, really fantastic methodology to conducting business, especially in professional services. And of course, that is the same approach that I do adopt here at King Dems Consulting Limited. It's a registered business advisory and fractional CFO services company here in the UK. So I have actually introduced the director of strategy to Morgan, and she's also a content creator and a chartered accountant like myself, the host of the Bricks and Banks podcast. Our chief of operations, the director of operations, he's also a podcaster as well and chartered accountant. We adopt that knowledge share mentality. There are no gatekeepers, and of course, the gatekeeping mentality is a fixed mindset, not a growth mindset. So I used to work with PwC previously, and one of I think their mission statement was to build trust in society by solving important problems. You know, it's the crux, it's the foundation of what we do as value adding consultants. So how do you address this, objective of building trust? It's one thing to be able to provide a high quality service, but trust is key to continued patronage. Trust is key for people to be even willing to work with you. So it's two would I say prerequisites here in order for business owners, especially in the service industry, to achieve success. So two things: how do they build trust, and how do they find important problems to solve?
Yeah,
If
that's
you don't
another great
mind,
question. Go
I
ahead,
have,
Morgan.
yeah, as a tax specialist, when I have clients who come to me and they're trusting me to follow through with what I say I'm going to do, I lead them down that path. I say, okay, if I speak with them on Monday and we have a problem, I say to them, and this is a very simple tip, I'll call you on Wednesday with the next step. And I follow through. Lack of follow through is one of the biggest problems that I have found within the professional industry, any of them, whether it be law or doctors or, the medical, any type of service. I find that the lack of follow through is an epidemic that people aren't paying attention to.
Uh-huh.
And if you build that small trust, it's like building blocks. Okay, if I say I'm going to call a client by Wednesday and I do it, okay, I've put a block in that trust column. And I keep doing that. Sometimes if I say, okay, by Friday, I'm going to have this answer and I can call them by Thursday with it, it just adds extra blocks in that column. At least that's what I've found. Sean, you may have a different simple advisement.
Sean,
No, I
just before Sean jumps right in, I'll say these very much aligns back to the philosophy of the modern day business philosopher. My philosophy, and I've said this on the podcast before, is that consistency builds reliability, and reliability builds trust. So I would like for Sean to build on that philosophy in addition to his contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Morgan. So one of the things I teach is there's in psychology, there's the 12 steps of intimacy. And if you have any two of those steps missing, they have found that the relationship will not last. And it becomes a transactional relationship, which is basically a one night stand or maybe 2 or 3 night stand. And a one
It's
night
not what we
stand,
want.
exactly. A one night stand has a 3% chance of becoming a long term relationship. They have found the same numbers apply to a transactional business relationship. So you meet the person, and automatically, the first time you meet them, you're trying to sell them. You're trying to get a transaction. You want their money right there. And then basically, if you use that approach, only 3% of those people are going to stay with you as a long term client, JV partner, whatever that looks like for your business. So applying those similar 12 steps of intimacy into this process really builds trust. So for instance, the first time you interact with someone, whether it's on social media, speech, whatever, having something that they can opt in on where they don't have to put their information in. They can just get the link to go to your event or whatever and let them see you. It goes along with that kind of that dating process, that courting mentality. Let them see you, hear you, learn about you, listen to you.
Interesting. So basically, you're talking about building the blocks, and consistency actually does help build the blocks, but consistency is born out of discipline. So without discipline, you are unable to achieve consistency. And Morgan actually spoke about how there's lack of follow through in the service industry, right? The follow through is very, very important. And it comes back to something I've said on the podcast before. The soft skills are actually more important than the hard technical skills. But let's talk about the hard technical skills. We always achieve a balance of qualitative and quantitative analysis in order to achieve an optimal result. So let's talk about the technical aspect, the hard skills.
Yeah, absolutely. So I truly believe, and I tell this to all my clients, that, and I am a AI consultant. I help my clients to implement AI into their business, and I encourage them to leverage AI to do all the things that they don't want to do or that they can do more efficiently so that they can double down on the time that they can actually spend face to face with clients. Because I believe in this AI revolution that there's also going to be a revolution of human connection. I think people are going to crave human, honest, genuine human connection. And so if people are going to buy from someone they know rather than some nameless corporation. So as we are able to leverage AI to do so many more things for our businesses, if you're, in my opinion, if you're using it correctly, it is allowing you to really connect with people and to just make friends with them, have long lasting relationships with people that are going to be your clients, your friends, your partners. And so I think that it's even more critical to
Wow. I love that you touched on AI because AI is actually a subject matter that is very, very dear to my heart. Interestingly, it seems like my parents did understand the assignment because my initials are actually AI, Ademola Isimeme. But when you're talking about AI, you need to be careful what AI are you talking about. Are you talking about artificial intelligence? Are you talking about Ademola Isimeme, or are you talking about, wait for it, artificial insemination?
That's a great question. Yeah, we're talking about
So
artificial intelligence.
so looking at how artificial intelligence is changing the global landscape and changing the business landscape. I don't know if Morgan is happy to talk about how professional services firms, companies, service providers should leverage on the AI revolution to accelerate. It's meant to be a catalyst. Yeah. So, what approach should service providers, professional services firms, and the industry adopt to accelerate, growth and development using
With what I do, I have to be very careful with AI. I think it is a great tool that business owners can bring in to support what they're doing, but it can't replace you.
Yeah, it's
And
not
I
meant to be
think
the
that
decision
is
maker.
right. And I think that's one place where some people are getting so excited about it that they're stepping back from the engagement and having a negative impact because people are getting savvy to AI driven communications and things like that. And then it lacks validity. It lacks
Authenticity.
that authenticity. Exactly. And it will actually have a negative impact. So there's a balance to everything in business. So just as long as you can keep a healthy balance with the integration of AI, I think it's good. For me, with what I do, the federal government has issued security measures that we have to maintain and be adherent to. And because of the potential threat of AI, I'm not allowed to have it on my system.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Data
Yeah.
GDPR. I do have an
Right. Well,
episode.
yeah, it's really funny, but I deal with people's taxpayer
Mhm.
ID
Yes.
numbers, bank statements, everything else. I
Uh-huh.
just can't have that threat. I know they say, well, they're not actually taking your data, they're analyzing it and using it, but yeah.
You're not able to trust the integrity of the system, basically. So
No,
you'd
I know. It
rather
sounds
err
old
on the side
school,
of
doesn't
caution.
it?
No, I think it's more of erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Of course, you
Well,
do
it's the
have that
same reason.
professional responsibility to your clients.
Right. Well, it's the same reason why they say be careful with what you send via email. All of the professional organizations have
Uh-huh.
created client portals for secure transfer of
Uh-huh.
sensitive information. It's the same principle. We just have to be very vigilant when it comes to the duty of holding everything confidential and protecting everybody's data as much as possible.
I think basically there should be GDPR considerations, and would I say probably compliance regulations depending on the territory that you are operating from. I do have an episode titled Humans First, AI Next, How to Lead, Adapt, and Thrive in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. That was back about 2, 3 months ago with Mark Andrews, an AI expert. So basically, humans are the decision makers, and there is this misconception that AI should be the one taking the front seat or taking the driver's seat in terms of the revolution that we are facing today. Would Sean like to talk on this and the application of AI in terms of industries that can fully become efficient at using AI dependencies or benefits, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. So I see so many people like you're mentioning that try to have AI take over so many things for them. And the way I like to think of it is that if I had a field that I was going to plow and I had a pick and a shovel, it might take me a month, 2 months to get through that field. But if I have a tractor, I can do it in an hour. And that's kind of how
Uh-huh.
AI is. AI is a tractor for the brain. So if I believe if you're using it correctly, you're deepening your thoughts, you're expanding your vision, and you're raising what is possible because now you have this super brain that's with you and can help you think through things and come up with things and it knows things. For instance, let's say I was going to come up with an invention and it had a lot of heavy science into it. 30 years ago, I would have had to probably go to a university and see if I could talk to some professors and get their input, how does this science work? How would this work? Now I can sit down with AI and have this conversation and figure out how to make it work. That's how there's so many things that are no longer limitations because of what we have with AI. But you're right, it's us driving the ship. AI can manipulate emotions. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have real world experience. It can only relate what it heard from someone else. And even though to some degree AI can hold people accountable, there's something much more meaningful if you are reporting to another human being on your progress and how you're doing. So there's a lot of things that AI will never be able to do that we need to have that human oversight, and that's not even mentioning the hallucinations and things like that AI has that, for now we obviously have to be check and balance for AI. The human factor has to be involved with that. But more than anything, to me, it's that expansion of thought, and that there's so many more possibilities now if you use it correctly.
Well, interesting. So, I'd like to get back to Morgan. And Morgan, let's talk about the target audience for the summit and what are the key takeaways for them. So we've talked about, the small business owners, professional services firms. So who else is very, very, would I say, positioned, yes, to take away great benefits from the summit?
So as you can hear, Sean can expound for a long time about all of these wonderful ways that he has insight into helping business owners. We've challenged Sean with saying, okay, you've got 10 minutes. What are the top 5 things you want to share with people about networking in 10 minutes? And it is going to be rapid fire, immediately actionable tips. So we have Sean speaking about networking. We have Jennifer Gardner speaking about client relationships. So those two are going to kind of piggyback off of each other. It's so exciting how to
Interconnected.
network and then how to actually take it from implementing a lifelong partnership and really investing into it. Right. We have a CPA who's going to be speaking about how to look rich to your bank, but poor to the tax agencies, which is probably, that's the one section where I would say it's more US driven, but the principles can still be implemented internationally. We also have a financial advisor speaking about how to optimize your advisor for helping make tax pivots throughout the year and how to manage your financials as far as long-term, short-term emergency saving, things like that. So we have that whole financial end. We have me talking about business management and curveballs from the agencies. I'm sorry, I'm a little stumped right now with how to explain everything that these 2 hours are going to provide to everybody. Sean's been involved as well with hearing about some of the presentations, and it is action-packed, rapid fire. Like, pay attention for the whole 2 hours because it's something that you're going to walk away from attending and listening to with, oh yeah, all of these ideas. Like, Sean, you were just sharing about AI and everything, and it got me thinking, just quickly, just off the cuff conversation. And these are going to be pointed presenters trying to share with you 5 tips and tricks from their area of expertise that'll change your world.
Wow, fantastic. It looks to me like a high value, high pressure that makes diamonds session. So we do have just 4 minutes left on the clock. They say it takes 4 minutes to save a life. Let us save lives here on the podcast.
Save your business, save your life, save your career, save your sanity.
Let's save a life with the 4 minutes we have left. Sean, you've got 2 minutes to give the audience anything you want to give them, closing words, closing advice, and of course, why they have to attend that summit.
Absolutely. One thing that drives me crazy about I go to a lot of events, is there's a lot of fluff. And there's a lot of, patting each other on the back and clapping hands and jumping up and down. And there's a place for that maybe sometimes, but honestly, I love really good knowledge, good information from people that know what they're talking about. That's what I'm going for. And that's what Morgan has created. She has created this event. It's going to be nothing but really good information. So when you come, bring something to write with, something to take notes, because this is going to be very valuable and you are going to get some really good insight, actionable steps that you can take that day to grow your business. So I would highly encourage anyone in business or wanting to get into business to attend this summit.
Wow, fantastic. You telling me right there that we're going to get a diamond nuggets from this summit. Of course, Morgan, 2 minutes to save a life or to save the lives of businesses. What are your closing remarks? What are your closing pieces of advice to the audience out there? And don't let them snooze. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah. Um, So the great thing is, because the summit is being held online, not only will it be a live presentation, but anybody who registers for the summit will have access to the recording as well. So if it's going to be in the middle of the night for you, don't worry, still sign up for it. You're going to have access to the whole recording. And we have a wonderful workbook that's coming with it that you can take down notes on, and all of our contact information for all of our presenters, because once you hear what they have to say, you're going to see that they are allies for each and every one of you. You'll have access to Sean. His communication information will be in there. So you'll want to reach out to him afterward and say, hey, I listened to you on this summit. I'd like to talk to you some more about this area that you spoke about. Can I get with you on this? And this is as much exposure to all of you with these insights, but it's also exposure to all of these wonderful industry leaders that we've lined up. Like Sean, I'm going to be reaching out and working with him for myself because I love what he has to say. I love the information he shares. So being able to introduce all of you to these resources is huge. And that was another driving point for this summit.
Wow, fantastic. To me, I think this summit is highly, highly loaded. And of course, I advise everyone out there to go sign up immediately. I think Morgan has actually shared the discount link connected to the King Dems podcast. I will ensure to add that to the description. And of course, from me to you guys, it's thank you very much. Gratitude is good attitude. When a person shares their time with you, they share their life with you, because the SI unit for measuring life is time. And to our audience out there, it's love and respect to you guys. And of course, you guys keep shining and keep participating, engage. Of course, there is a prize every week of £50, 50 Great British pounds to the highest and the best engaging member of the audience. So till I come your way soon, keep winning in life. Take care, guys.